Hello everyone, so this is going to be the conference selection video for the GOAT Format War League Season 3. The way I'm going to be doing this is, so I have my tiers, so I'm just going to go from the bottom of the tiers all the way to the top. All my tiers are split into pairs of 2 teams because I thought that there weren't I didn't see ever 4 equal teams, so I paired everyone into 2. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to put each team into the list randomizer, and I'm going to click randomize 1 time, and the team on the top will go into the blue conference, and the team on the bottom will go into the red conference. I hope nobody gets offended by anything I say. I tiered things by War League win rate. That's the most important, and then there's major wins, major top 4s, non-major wins. I don't think there's anything else to say. I can just begin now. I'm going to be starting with the bottom. My bottom tier is Top Table Gaming and The Exile. And they're at the bottom for pretty much the same reasons. They don't have War League win rate. They don't have tournament success. If they have IRL tournament success, we don't know about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. They went down there pretty much by default, just for not having War League win rate or tournament success. They do have Sparky Flary, who is pretty good, but he hasn't. Last season he didn't play much, so who knows what'll happen with him. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna put them into the randomizer. I'll just say top table and exile. Remember, top team goes into blue, bottom goes into red. I'm just gonna click randomize 1 time. And it's top table, so top table is in blue. And the exile goes to red. Alright, so my next pair of teams are going to be the underdogs and the formula. And pretty much why they are in this next tier are because they are the lowest win rate teams in the entire league. They don't have the tournament success, so pretty much just for that they got put down there. Let's see, the formula also lost OG Becky, which was their best player. They lost him like a couple days ago, maybe 3 days ago, so that was a huge hit to the formula. The underdogs, where are they? Yeah, they have Campos, who's a crazy deck player, but he only went 2-7 last season. So yeah, those are going to be the next tier. Let's put them in. Formula, underdogs. Top team goes to blue. It's going to be the formula. And the underdogs. Okay. My next pair of teams, I have Nemesis and the Xeon Foots. Let me just find them. Here's Nemesis. Okay, so Nemesis, they have Katzos, who is actually 10-9 overall, which isn't the worst. They have Zogler, who won an obelisk. I know Evans GR, I believe topped a GGP in Greece maybe a couple weeks ago. And that was pretty much it, but that's enough tournament success and enough. They have enough they have 40% War League win rate. And so yeah, that was enough to put them over the other 4 teams. And then we have the Xeon Foots. Where are they? There they are. So they have I Love Sisikoki, Shipola. I know Mr. Law from somewhere, but yeah. So they also had a 40% win rate, I believe. Sisikoki is only 8-16 overall in War League, but I think he's probably better than that. Shipola is the best player in their team. I know they have a lot of success in IRL Italian tournaments. Yeah, that was enough to put them over the bottom 4 teams. That just having that War League win rate plus some tournament success. So let me just put them in. We have Nemesis and Xeon Foots. Nemesis goes into blue. Okay. Next. Okay, the next I have the Masters of Oz and the Free Agents. Let me find them real quick. Okay, so here are the Free Agents. This is their 3rd season in the league. I believe they had something like 40, somewhere in the 40s. It's above 40, but not that far above 40. So they have Lundry, who is their new pickup from Solitaire, who had a really good performance in the playoffs of Season 2. He didn't play much in the regular season, but he played okay in the playoffs, and he's easily their best player. There isn't really much else to go off, except for their win rate. They had higher win rate than the previous teams I mentioned. And who's the other team? The Masters of Oz. So this team has 5 unknowns. And then they have Stressful, who played in Season 2 and went 7-4. And then there's Jace, who is a really good player and has a really good record in the War League. He even has a really good playoff record. Yeah, he also has tournament success. I think just for Jace alone, these guys came up this far. Pretty much just for Jace. And Stressful also had a 7-4, so it's not bad. So yeah, it's Masters of Oz. And the Free Agents. Okay. Cool. And next up, I have the Pigpen, and Birdcage. Let's look at Birdcage first. It's Gucci, GBO, King Snail, Safe, Oops a Cow, Bluetooth, Jack Sworn, Undefined. So this team actually had a pretty good win rate of like 49%, which was enough to put them over everyone else. Yeah, they like 50% is actually like, you know, that's average. And the other teams you could say were below average. Jack Sworn has a few tournament successes. I know he got second in an FLC or something. Gary G has some success in real life. Yeah, there isn't that much tournament success here, but the win rate, again, is the most important, so they got put here for that. And the other team is the Pigpen. They have Pete Epoxy, Ray Saber, Poco 97, Guillaume Berman, JJ Stokes, Luigi Chiarellici, Grace, and Big Noodle. Ray Saber has a pretty good record. Yeah, again, this team is like, again, at like that 50%. They have some names like Guillaume Berman, he went 8-3 last season, which is not easy to do in the War League. JJ Stokes, he was on HK. Luigi Chiarellici, he's a very good Italian player. Yeah, so again, that's just the 50%, which is enough to go above all the rest. So let's just do this. The Pigpen. And the other team was Birdcage. We have Birdcage on top. And the Pigpen. Next up. Alright, so the teams are getting better now. We have Damage Step and Bones. This is the Bones. This is the sister teams of the main Bones. Let's just go find them. Where are they? Okay, so they have a new name this season. They have Beware of Nefarious Evil Skeletons. So they have Godot, Dripped, Phil Trofiore, John Doe, Manic Lord, Shavies, Return Winner, and Tiso. So Return Winner, he finished third place. I believe he finished third place in the MVP standings. So he got to play in the MVP Invitational. You have to be pretty good to be able to play in that tournament. Tiso, he went like 6-6, but I saw some of his games and he played pretty well. Plays Warriors. Godot, he's played Warriors and Turbo. Third season in the league. He's pretty experienced. So this team doesn't have much tournament success, but they do have the War League win rate, which again is like 50%, but Return Winner is a big one. So that's why they go here. And then there's Damage Step. They have Soul, Impact, Dionysian, The Gardener, Jared, Crawldad, MMF, and Psychotic. So Soul and MMF are like their big ones. MMF got third in the MVP Invitational. Had a really, really good season with Chaos Turbo. Soul, can't remember what his record was. But again, this team was like hovering around 50% again. And I just think they have a lot of good potential. A lot more than some of the other teams I showed. And yeah, pretty much this tier was like, you had MMF and you had Return Winner. Just being in that MVP Invitational is really valuable in my tiers. They have a new pickup, Impact, which is Josh Graham. He's one of YCS. If he learns GOAT format more, who knows? He could be really good. So yeah, I think these two teams have potential to sneak into the top 10 spots. So maybe a wild card. So we have Damage Step and Bones. This goes here. And Damage Step. Next up, I have Ultra Instinct. Let's see if I can find them. I can't find them. Alright, here's Ultra Instinct. So they are only using one team this season. They put all of their whole team together. Last season they split up these top four, but this season they're all together. You have Shaggy, who I've been talking to and working with a lot online. He's been improving a big amount. AJ Hussein. So AJ Hussein had a pretty bad season last season for his standards. He was like 5-8. He just couldn't get a win. He lost something like 5 or 6 in a row at some point, which was some bad luck, but probably also some just not playing well. But what did he do? He got second at Clash. He's topped Worlds. Shaggy's topped Worlds. Gaia hasn't done anything yet, but had a really good season last season. Can't remember the exact record, but it was something like 3 or 4 losses. Indoors had a pretty bad season last season, but he has won a GFC. So again, tournaments like that have a big impact on where you get put in the tiers. And they also have around 50% as well. McMariners, he's done a couple things in some Patreons. Wayfarer, I believe, has won an Obelisk. Neat Dog is their new pickup. He plays Cold Wave Monarchs. He's got some potential, for sure. He's definitely beaten some good turbo players with this deck. And then there's Splevin. I believe this is his 3rd season. Can't remember for sure, but yeah, he's got a lot of experience. Yeah. Also, Ultra Instincts got top 4 in season 1 when they were a full team, so they definitely deserve to be in this tier. And the other team in this tier is Rehab. Where are they? There they are. Okay. So this is the 3rd team that Overdose is bringing out, which is supposed to be like their weakest team. Their top 2, I believe, are stronger. They have Bobby Bodega, Insidious, Derek from Solitaire, Maru 13, Six Slack, also from Solitaire, Leswin Fox, Duck, and Ether. I I don't know Ether at all, so I can't say anything here. Duck had a really good season. Like, at least at the start, he had a good season last season. Then there's Fox. Can't remember what he did. This team, like, really underperformed last season. I think people expected more. But I think with their new pickups, Derek and Sixlack, I think they are really good and give this team a potential to really get into the playoffs. There's Bobby, who went like 0-6 last season. Do you think he's going to go 0-6 again? It's very unlikely. He probably just got really unlucky. Probably didn't always play his best. He's topped Worlds. Insidious has topped Worlds. Derek has been decent in War League. Like, I believe he has a winning record. Maru, one of the best burn players around. They got him pretty late last year. Maybe he could help with being there for a full season. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say. I think this team has a really good shot at making it into the top 10. So that's this tier. We have Rehab and Ultra Instinct. Okay. Alright, so from here on, the teams are just going to become increasingly more and more strong. Next up, I have GCI and the Chaos Kings. So GCI was the final team to submit. They weren't going to play, and last second they decided they were going to play. The Elite Four was actually, my team was actually going to take Juvie 89 if they weren't going to play, and I don't know. They ended up playing at the last second. So they have Sapo the Gynos, Juvie, Markor 96, Banana, who's known for really bringing some crazy and really scary decks. XY0, can't remember what he plays, I think it's like Turbo, maybe Control. Mr. Man did not play a single game last season. I think he's pretty good, but who knows if he'll even play. The Syusk, which is a new pickup. I've played him on ladder before. Katza Lipo, never heard of this name before. So yeah, they have another MVP Invitational player, Juvie 89, who just had an excellent season, and he got second overall in the MVP Invitational with Chaos Control. He can play Chaos Turbo, he can play Warriors, he can play Control. He plays them all really well. Banana's the crazy guy. He plays, what's that deck he played? It was like Defusion, Burn, Bazoo, crazy stuff. With like Sunlights and Koalas. And then there's the Gynos. I don't think many people know this guy, but he's like a turbo player. And I watched some of his film, and it's not, he plays pretty good. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to say about them. They finished really high in their conference last season, in a really tough conference. So I think they deserve this spot here, above all the teams I've mentioned already. And then there's the Chaos Kings. And I think these two teams are like pretty evenly matched, the Chaos Kings and the GCI. We have Agent Broken, who's known for his burn deck, his lockdown burn, siding into cat burn. I am Z1, very good player. Shades 4, this guy is actually J4 Druin from last season. He went back to Shades 4. He topped Worlds. There's Cloud. I believe he plays Turbo. JYK plays Turbo. Sadi Boy, new player. Petran, excellent player. He has multiple major wins. And then there's Too Fresh. So yeah, this team, where were they at? They were at 54% win rate. GCI was at 55. And every team below this had no better than 50. So along with the accomplishments and the win rate, it's pretty clear why these ended up being on this tier. So let's just put them into the randomizer. Okay, Chaos Kings. All right, next up. All right, next I actually have a tier where I put 4 teams, but 2 of them automatically go to an opposing conference because, well, one of them are Detox, which is Overdose's main sister team. So Detox will be going over to whichever conference that Overdose is not in. And then I have Rampage HK, which will go into the conference that the Elite Four is not in because they are their sister team. Let's just talk about those 2 teams for a second. Okay, there's Detox. So these are all names that you should probably know. We have Cameron, who played for Odd Eye last season. What was his record? Something like 7-5, something like that. There's Danny Kasi, who plays Chaos Turbo. Very good Italian player. Leo P. Huncho won the biggest FLC, 12-0, which is a huge accomplishment. And then he topped Worlds right after. Yeah. Michelle Cimino has won an FLC, played for HK last season. Michelle Gruner, he's won plenty of things back in the day, like Nationals. He's played at Worlds. Don't know what he's done in GOATs, but being on this team, I'm sure they're gonna catch him up. So this is where OG Becky 21 went from the formula onto this team. He's really been improving a lot and really quickly. He's winning a lot of stuff. I mean, I've played him in practice and just lost. I see him play pretty well. There's SDL Killa, one of the best Warrior players around. He's won 2 GFCs, he's won plenty of Patreons, he's won plenty of tournaments. And then there's Trishula 93, plays Turbo. Yeah, he actually has a really good World League win rate, like 7-2 or something. He doesn't play much, but when he does, he just wins. So I think overall, this team, they have accomplishments. They have, I believe they had 59% win rate or something like that. Maybe 60. No, not 60. It's probably 59. Yeah, they have good accomplishments and the win rate. Then there's Rampage HK. And this was actually a close one between Rampage HK, Chaos Kings, and GCI. Regardless, HK would have to go to a different conference from the Elite Four. So it made more sense to put them into this tier so they could get split off into, because you can't randomize with this team. So they have John Wick, which is Christopher Ivan Flores. He's won a Shonen Jump. Has he won a major in GOATs? I don't believe he has, but he's won Patreons. Gets his invite every season. He's won an Obelisk. Good, consistent player. Always has results all the time. There's Krebs. Last season he switched into like Turbo for like majority of the season and did really well with it. What else? He hasn't won a major. He just doesn't play a lot. But when he does, he does pretty well. And in War League, he has a pretty good win rate. Wick also has a good win rate. Here's Moby, who didn't play that much last season just because he was on a really stacked team and he just couldn't find playing time. I don't know what accomplishments he has, but he's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Carl. Yeah, so Carl has plenty of wins. He's won Patreons, he's top GGPs, he's won a GFC, he has many tops in a bunch of tournaments. So yeah, which is their new pickup. Last season he played on 4 Hunnits. Then there's Beast Mode, who is mainly an Edison player, but he did play GOATs last season for HK and also the Formula, and didn't do that bad. He just didn't play that much at the end. He went like 5-2, and again, win rate's very important. And then there's GGZ Rampage, who is mainly a warrior player. Doesn't really have that many accomplishments. I feel like this team could use one more player. Yeah, but regardless, they aren't going to be randomized. They will go straight into the conference that does not have the Elite Four. I just wanted to talk about them. Okay, so well, we don't know which conference the Elite Four and Overdose are in yet, so I'll save those for the end. So the actual 2 teams that will be randomized in this conference hold on a second. The Bones team. Okay, so the worst generation actually has to go into the red conference because Bones is in blue. Okay. Let's just look at the teams. This tier will be the worst generation and 4 Hunnits. Alright, so Night Moves, The Sauce, Shifty, JCVD, Shogun Lopez, Don't Copy, which is a big new pickup for them, Grumple, Steelchin, which came in out of nowhere and he had a really good season. He even played in the MVP Invitational and got top 4, I believe, and got his invite to Worlds off that, which is one of the hardest ways to get an invite. And Wavement, who has done some damage in GGPs. Night Moves, he's won a Patreon. Yeah, he's won a Patreon. He's had multiple close tops and Patreons. The Sauce. Sauce doesn't get to play that many events, but when he does, he just crushes. He's one of the best players all time in War League. Has 18 wins, which is top 4. 18-6, which is crazy for the War League. You have Shifty, who has a good win rate. Unfortunately, he was banned last season, but he did go 3-0, and he's back this season. Expect him to do big things. JCVD, their Go Control player. He's won a Patreon. I think he's won 2 Patreons. Maybe it was 1 Patreon, and he also won an Obelisk. Shogun Lopez won a GFC. Warriors had that incredible losers bracket run. He won something like 11 or 12 in a row. Don't copy. He's played on Pandas. He's played for Odd Eye. He's just overall a good player. He's won Patreons. He's had multiple top finishes in FLCs. Plays Chaos Turbo very well. Grapple Steelshin. So this guy is kind of weird. He plays a lot of weird decks. Maybe not a lot of weird decks, but he's played some stuff like Dragon Zombie. He's also played a Fairy deck. I believe the Fairy deck is how he got his invite in the Invitational. He's also played Turbo. Yeah, this guy just wins. I don't know how, but he just wins. And I already talked about Wavement. And then there's the 400s. Alright, they have World Gone Mad, FDS, Kersey, Gangster Bro, Wow Wink, Purple Drunk, Dingo Sig, and Zoidberg. Okay, so WGM, he has, I believe he was 14-7 overall in War League, which is, had to have 66% win rate is really good. He's had top finishes in FLCs back in the day. FDS, he's won an FLC. His War League win rate has been really good the past 2 seasons. Hasn't always played every week, but when he plays, he just wins with Chaos Control. Kersey plays mostly Warrior. May have switched to Turbo recently. I don't know. He went something like 5-2 last season. Yeah, it's pretty good. Gangster Bro. Okay, this guy is kind of crazy. He's really good with Chaos Turbo. He's had top finishes in FLCs. His War League record is pretty good. Yeah, for Turbo, this guy is not who you want to be playing against. Wow Wink, fellow War Chief. I don't believe he has much of a War League playing time. It was something like 3-5 or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure if he has any tournament success. Purple Drunk, this is their new pickup, and he's just excellent. I believe he is ready to become really, really great. He basically only plays Chaos Turbo. He has played Warrior, but his main deck is definitely Chaos Turbo, and he's really good at Chaos Turbo. I think he's ready to have a huge season. He's actually like one of the reasons that I have this team up here. Then there's Dingo, world champion. He's had top finishes in a bunch of other events like FLCs, Patreons. Yeah, and his Worlds run was pretty crazy. He won it with Chaos Return, Shining Angel. Yeah, you win Worlds, you're going to be tiered high in my rankings, of course. And then there's Zoidberg. Who's actually my student for like over a year now. Yeah, he has one of the best War League win rates. He has 15 wins, which is among the top. He's 15-8, which is really good for War League. Did he top something? He topped the biggest FLC. Top 16 did. He's won an Obelisk. So yeah, that is the 400s. And since this tier has Worst Generation in it, and Worst Generation can't go with Bones, this means the Worst Generation goes here. And 400s go here. Okay, so there's 4 teams left. This next one I have the Bongo Boys and the Safari Zone. Let me just go find them. Yeah, so I have Bongo Boys and Safari Zone in this next tier. Safari, obviously everyone knows them. They just won the War League. AJTBLS also won the War League in Season 1. He's won 3 FLCs in the matter of like a year. And gotten top 3 finishes in a whole bunch of others somehow. His FLC run has just been amazing. He's won 2 GGPs. I want to say he's won 2. AJ is just crazy. Top finishes and everything. His playoff record is just unbelievable. It's like 12-1. He basically is as automatic as it gets in playoffs. Fresh IRL is their new pickup, which is a huge pickup. He's like 12-2 lifetime in the War League, which is huge. They replaced Jinzo Dude for him. And if you look at, you have AJ, Fresh IRL, Lucas, Marcus Hayden. That's an insane core 4. And then they either have Matt to play Warriors. Rabid has been really good with Warriors lately. Mercenary plays Turbo, and he's still been improving every day. So Lucas, just a monster. He is the third best in wins for War League at like 19-8. So yeah, he's won 4 Patreons. He tops everything. He hasn't won a major yet, other than a 3v3, which aren't considered majors anymore these days, but it's still a win. But he's topped a bunch of majors as well. Top GFC, top 4 GFCs, FLCs. Yeah, this guy does it all. Marcus Hayden. So last season was his first full season in War League. He did very well, and he also did very well in playoffs. And then he also went on to win the MVP Invitational, which is a really hard tournament. 16 super strong players, and he won it undefeated with Chaos Turbo. Like, he's not who you want to play against if versus his Chaos Turbo. Yeah, Mercenary, his Turbo has been improving. I think I already mentioned everyone. Wes, you know, he's kind of just there. Let's move on to the Bongo Boys. They have James Ark. He is 12-8 in War League. His playoff record is only second to AJTBLS. He's won an Obelisk. He's won an FLC. He's top 3 worlds. He's also topped GFC, I believe. Yeah, super good player. Can't say that anybody else is better at Turbo than him. Then you have Necro. Some people like to shit on this guy, but I don't know, everybody's crazy. This guy is absolutely a monster. He's like just crazy. 14-4 in War League. If you ever played against him, you just get destroyed. I guess people like to shit on him because he likes to talk a lot of shit, but sure. He's really good. And he was on Solly last season. Not so fast. This is like one of those surprise. You were kind of surprised to see him here. But he is actually like... He has more wins in War League than Zoidberg. He has 16 wins, which is among the leaders. Remember, Lucas has 19, and that's top 3. Not So Fast has 16. 16-12. Last season he went 9-4. Yeah, he's been improving really quickly. Plays several decks. Watch out for him. Matt K, I don't know much about him. Yeah, I'm just going to move past that. There's Marcus Lal. I've seen him play a bunch of ladder. He's really good with Turbo. I just played him at Clash of Champions, and it was a pretty crazy match. He's won a GFC. Yeah. So, pretty strong player if you did all that. Stevie. Don't know anything about him from GOATS. I don't know if he has played GOATS. But he did actually just win an Edison RBET like today. So, yeah, must be good. Will that transfer to GOATS? We'll see. Spiral. He finished top 4 in Season 1 of War League, and he just wasn't really able to play last season because he was just on a really stacked Overdose roster. He just couldn't play much, but trust me, this guy is insane. So yeah, that's going to be my 3rd and 4th teams, the Bongo Boys and the Safari Zone. Let's put that into the randomizer. Okay. Safari Zone. And Bongo Boys. Okay. And there's 2 teams left. You have the Elite Four and Overdose. So basically, for Safari, Bongo, Elite Four, Overdose, you could argue that these are just the top 4 teams. They should all belong in the same tier. But I believe the Chiefs, we decided that Elite Four and Overdose should be split, just because we don't want the same thing that happened last season where a conference had G Unit and Overdose, and it was just imbalanced. These were just the two teams that we wanted split, guaranteed. So that's why we split up Safari Bongo and Elite Four Overdose. We didn't want to have the chance of Elite Four and Overdose in the same conference. Okay, so we have Ivan. That's me. This is the #1 all-time player in World League regular season with a record of 21-5. He has 2 Patreon wins, 2 Obelisk wins, GFC 4th, GFC 2nd, GFC win, Clash of Champions win, FLC 3rd. Yeah, that's, and the #1 win rate on the rankings online with like 71%. Yeah, just crazy. Then we have Moxies. Let's see, Moxies. He's won 2 FLCs. He's won an Obelisk. He's won 5 Patreons. He's won 3v3s. In fact, I've actually teamed with him in 3v3s, and we've gotten 2nd and 3rd in our 2 times teaming together. What else has he done? He's done plenty of other stuff. I think I mentioned most of the stuff. His World League win rate is not crazy. It's like 12-9, which is still above average. But, hoping he can fix that up this season. Fancy Diesel. So, Rampage actually picked him up before Season 2 started. Just because we've seen his performance, it's crazy. He's like 5-1 versus me in ranked games. Yeah. He's just super, super good. And his Season 2 also showed it. He was like 8-3. Yeah. Really good. I don't think he's won a big one yet, but it's coming. Ghost Rider. One of the most consistent toppers of all time. Was known for his curse of just never being able to win a tournament. Always getting 2nd place. He finally did win a Patreon. Which unfortunately is his only win still, but yeah, he just tops everything. One of the most scary turbo players in the whole community. Yeah. He's actually not played that much War League regular season though, because in Season 1, he had like an injured hand or wrist. And then Season 2, he got benched a lot just because that's how stacked the team was. Yeah. Expect him to be playing more this season. Then you have LaBounty. I don't even know if I can name all his accomplishments. He's won a Shonen Jump back in the day. He has won Clash of Champions this season. GFC this season. Which was a really great losers run, beating me in the finals twice. He's won an FLC also. I believe he also has an Obelisk win. Does he have a Patreon win? I don't believe he has a Patreon win. His War League record is not the greatest, though. It's only like 13-11. But of course, all those tournaments, huge tournaments. So he's also topped Worlds, like Worlds top 4 or top 3. I believe it was top 4. Then we have Mark MPS, which is our new pickup from LRG. I actually don't know his achievements. He won an obelisk. He's like the theory guy. I don't think there's actually much to say about Mark. He's our secret weapon, basically. And this is our newest pickup, NB96. So, a couple months ago, he won an FLC. Undefeated. Beat AJ in the finals. He beat like 7 or 8 turbo decks with a Chaos Return deck. He also beat me in round 1 of that. He's also won a GFC, I believe, at some point. So he's one of the rare GFC and FLC, which Bounty has also done that. No, yeah, Bounty's won 2 GFCs. No, he's won FLC and GFC, and Clash. NB96, what else? I think that's all I know. I played him at Clash of Champions, and he beat me at round 1 also. And that's it for the team. Can move on to Overdose now, which is probably everyone's favorite to win it all again this season, and can't really argue with it. And they have Anthony Alvarado, he is the 2nd place in World League wins with 20. Just behind me at 21. He's won a Shonen Jump back in the day. What does he want? Does he have an FLC or a GFC? I don't believe so, but he has plenty of tops. He has like 3 Patreon wins. Just a super, super consistent player. Plays mostly Chaos Turbo, but also is capable of playing a bunch of other decks if he feels like it. And Matt Uber is known for his Steingate. He's like literally the only person in the community who plays that deck, and he just has success with it. He wins all the time. Well, not in tournaments that much, but like, he's one of the scariest to go against. Riclar. So Riclar is actually 2nd place all time in win rate with 70%. Like 70.9 to my 71. He came before me. He won Worlds with Turbo. He just won an Obelisk a few weeks ago. Yeah, one of the scariest players. He hasn't played that much in War League though, and you have to wonder how much he'll actually play, considering how stacked this roster is as well. Then we have Geist, who just got 2nd place at Worlds, lost to Dingo in the finals. He actually has 4 major wins. I believe he has 2 FLCs and 2 GFCs. They're like some of the early ones, and he just went crazy. Yeah. And War League, Season 1 he had a really bad season. Season 2 he turned it around. He even got some playoff wins. Yeah, he's just one of the best players in the whole community. Then there's Swisky. This guy, he could pick up any deck and just play it really well out of nowhere. I don't know what he's won. I'm not sure. And he hasn't played that much in War League. But yeah, super, super good player. And now we have KP, who's been recently allowed to play this season in the War League. This guy is considered probably the best player of all time. the best GOAT player. What has he won? He won the first Clash of Champions. I'm not sure about if he's won any Shonen Jumps or not, so I'm not going to say anything about that. Yeah, this guy is considered probably the best player in all of GOATs. I hope he gets to play a lot this season, and yeah. Now we have their new pickup, Alethea 2. So Elite 4 was actually going to try to pick him up, and yeah, he decided to go for Overdose. Understandably so. They have a really crazy roster. Alethea plays a lot of weird decks, but he makes them work. I don't know how he makes them work, but he does. Like, there must be something. His deck building must just be really good. And his technical play is really good with those weird decks. So yeah, always one of the scariest opponents you can face in a tournament. And then there's Ale, 1997, Italian player. This was their new pickup. They got him like mid-season. And I've watched this guy's turbo replays, and I've seen some really crazy stuff, which even surprised me. Yeah, his turbo gameplay is really good. Plays a lot of Italian stuff. Yeah, he's just really good. And I believe that's it. I can just go into... Let's see where these teams go. Overdose and Elite 4. Okay. Elite 4. And also the two teams they're sister teams that I did not place yet. There's Detox. So Detox will go into the conference with Elite 4. And Rampage HK will go into the conference with Overdose. So those are the two conferences. Yeah, I hope that these conferences are as even as could possibly be made here. I don't know if we're going to stick with red and blue. We might call it something else. We might stick with it. I don't know. We'll let you know soon. So yeah, pairings, I would expect season schedules to come out tomorrow. Insidious will do that. Yeah, so that's just that. Those are the two conferences. Those are the tiers. I don't think there's anything else to say. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have good luck in Season 3. Prove me wrong that these are not the right tiers.